Hello, hello, this is Paper Cuts Included coming to you live from the Ninja Turtle Sleeping Blanket. And today we're going to be doing a pickup video, which we haven't done that in a while. I was able to go out yesterday and me and my co-host went to a few stores and, you know, luckily found some pretty good deals. I got 10 $1 books for free, so I count that as a win. So if this is your first ever Paper Cuts Included video, we are a comic book YouTube channel dedicated to talking about comic books, comic book art, art in general, artists, and we're here to talk about art under a technical aspect. We talk about art in terms of how do we do it, how, oh, this artist did that way, he did this, he used this type of pen. We do that more so than talk about story. So, if it's something that interests you, subscribe, it really helps us out. But today is going to be a pickup video, and these kinds of videos, I just show what I bought, and talk about it. A lot of this stuff will be future episodes, but I just like to show it and show that I'm a growing collector. Because I like watching that on YouTubers, is seeing what they buy. So I thought I'd do that for this channel too. Oh yeah, frog in my throat or something. So today we're going to be looking at some pickups I got. Today we're going to be starting with, I got a crap ton of all read Future Foundation books. If you've been watching this channel, you know how much I love All Red. I think he's an amazing artist, one of the best artists, probably on the Mount Rushmore of artists for me, and an artist all of you should be studying if you haven't, looked at his artwork before. He is great at cartooning. He's a great figure drawer. He's amazing. And his artwork should be studied in classes. Not to just go on a full fanboy, but I do fanboy over him. So he does the covers and the interiors for these issues. I'm going to show off the covers first, then we'll look at one of the interiors, which I don't know at all what Future Foundation is. I've said in previous videos, I was never a Marvel kid growing up. I was always a DC kid. So I have no idea what Future Foundation is or, what's going on. But it's got Allred in it. So I guess I have to read it now to get some Michael Allred book. Is that it? I thought I had some more. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yep. Oh no, my water. So now let's look at the interior of Future Foundation number 4. World's Nowest Comic Mag is what it's titled. But no, I love his artwork. I think it's great. Very just unique, but good. Like, just his body movement and his body language, I feel like is so iconic to his artwork. And it's a mix of like that cartooniness you might see in like a Jeff Smith book and, the really intense like Alex Ross compositions. And some people might argue, be like, you can't compare a funny book guide to the great Alex Ross. Well, I am. God, the amount of times I saw this ad and wondered if I could do that. Who knows? Probably not, but maybe. His artwork's just stunning to me. We'll flip through it real quick because I could, this whole video could just be about this book that I don't really know a whole lot about, but I just talk about the artwork. And, it's great. Yeah, his wife colors it for him, and I think the colors have always been great with his artwork. I've never seen the colors conflict. Sometimes the color theory in books do. Like, I've complained about Jeff Darrow's newest book, Cruel to Be Kin. I think the colors muddy some of his really fine artwork in it, but not. I've never had that complaint with All Reds. I've never seen an All Red book colored in a bad way. I think they've always been colored superb, and they work really good with his pencils and inks, which I hope so since they're married. He draws a good Reed Richard. But no, also, like, if this is looking interesting, read Madman. That's his bread and butter. That's his breakout character, his own creation. Madman is this zany, wild character who I fell in love with. And if you just need a funny book, a funny action, non-depressing, read Madman. It's awesome. I like it a whole lot. But no, there's the Future Foundation. Some amazing all red artwork. So, this will probably be, once I get the first three, maybe we'll do, or do I have the first three? 3, 4, 11, 6, 2, 5. So once I get issue 1, maybe we'll do a first 3 issue review, art wise. But that's my Future Foundations. I got all of these for free, actually. These were the free books I got, you know. It should have been $12, but for some reason, 10 of the comics had 0.00 for the price, and we went to a game exchange to get that. So I count that as my big success of the day. Another book I got at that game exchange is one called Thresher, which I had never heard of before. I'd never heard of First Light Comics, and I guess a lot of people haven't either, because this is the only issue in that series. There is no issue 2 or issue 0, which I was surprised there's no issue 0. But it looks like just some Shark Warriors to the 90s extreme, which I haven't really checked when this came out. First printing were 1995. Okay. So, I can't pass up a book about sharks. Shark, super. Wow, they just blew up these images to be right there. Okay. Man, some digital font at its finest. But no, I can't pass up books like these. And I'll never crap on artwork. That's not me. Kudos to the artist. Maybe this was their dream, was to make a comic book, and they achieved that. They released, two issues pretty much, because there's this issue, and then I saw that there's like a golden font variant. But, awesome for them for getting to achieve their dream, maybe. And hopefully it was their dream and not just some sort of, cash cow, which I doubt this made them any money. But it's rough artwork. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure this started with two friends, Ninja Turtle style, like, oh, I have an idea, and the other one being like, oh, you can draw it, But hey, they did it. So yeah, I just got it because it has sharks on it, and me and my wife love sharks, especially my wife. So that is a pretty cool 2-page spread, though. I don't like how the sharks have hair, though. But no, that's the sole reason I got it, is it had sharks. Ooh, octopus guy. But how could I not, And maybe for like a 100 subscriber special or a 50 subscriber special, we'll do a Thresher look at. Because I'm sure this book is wild. Or maybe we could make Thresher issue 2, the fanzine version, for a 50 subscriber special, God. I'm trying to think. This had to be digital colored. It had to be. There's no way this is, like this is some early Photoshop, or what's that other? Is it After Effects, or what's the? I don't know. I took that class in college, and I couldn't tell you what it was. I did make a Howard the Duck bookmark through that class, though. That was really cool. That's cool. Cool ideas, some big old sharks. Like, that's cool. But art's rough. But, like I said, they probably achieved their dream, which is cool. So that's ad number 2. Ad number 3. And then Hyperspace Hyenas for ad number 4. So, hey, this studio had something cooking with all these books. Oh, wow. Yeah, this had to be some early Adobe artwork. And then ad number 5. That one actually looks the most competent out of all the other books. I'm sure Hyperspace Hyenas was made by the same people who did the Threshers, because it looks exactly that same art style. But there's Threshers, a book I never thought I would. Hey, book 6 for an ad. I never thought I would pick up or knew existed, but now how can I not own it? This will go in with my Ninja Turtle clones section in my long boxes, which is ever growing, and we'll have to do a full video on that one day about the extent to that. And what I mean by Ninja Turtle clones is when people probably saw how successful, no, not probably, when they saw how successful the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were, which when I say that out loud, doesn't sound like a whole lot, but combining all those words, $1 billion, industry. Everyone wanted a piece of that pie, and so you saw this flood of, copycats, essentially. The prepubescent hamsters, the dinosaurs for hires, now this Threshers with a Z, that means it's cool, right? Like a fat with a PH, Threshers. So, we'll definitely have to look at Threshers and all those Ninja Turtle clones in a full video one day. And maybe even First Light Comics with 2 X's. See how much, what other books they made. Do a First Light Comics tier list of which one's the best. Because I'm sure that's going to be easy to figure out, Okay, what I get next? I got another. It's not a Ninja Turtle ripoff. Some people might think it might be. Dalgoda #4. Maybe about 2 weeks ago, I read Dalgoda #1 for the first time and made a video on it, and it was really good. I was really surprised by it. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Maybe I can try to figure out how to put a link in the description of it, but it was really good. If you like Robotech, read it. It's a very Robotech kind of centered theme, and so I was able to find this for $1. Picked it up. I'm gonna try to pick up all the Dalgoda issues. I think there's only 7 or 8, so hey, I'm almost a third of the way there now. you know? So I'm not going to look at it because I don't really want to spoil it for myself. But, I can't wait to read the rest of Dalgoda. I'm curious how it works. I'm curious how it looks. And I always try to pick up any Fantagraphics books because I like Fantagraphic books as a company. They think they came out with some really good stuff. So, no. There's my Dalgoda pickup. And I think we're starting to see that rise of the furry art, because I wondered if Dalgoda 1 would be pretty furry. It's not, but, seeing this cover with probably a naked lady and a shirtless dog man, we might begin there. Which I don't have any problems with. Oh, he's only got 3 toes. I never noticed that. Or, I guess that's not his foot. That's whoever that person might be. I don't know. I don't have a problem with furries. You do you, boo. For my Miller haul of the day, or one of my Miller hauls, also at the Game Exchange, was a Batman and Robin: The Boy Wonder, which is a Frank Miller and Jim Lee duo. I try to pick up these books when I can, or I try to pick up Frank Miller when I can, because how can you not? And next Monday, I'm going to be seeing the American Genius Frank Miller movie, so we might have to do a little surprise pop-up video of me reviewing that, or just talking about what I thought about it. So stay in tune if that gets made. But no, I picked up this issue. Like I said, I try to pick up every Frank Miller thing. And Jim Lee's always fun to have around. So I'll have to see how they're. I've never read this story. I know the controversies on some of it, but I can't wait to actually give it a shot. You know what I mean? So we'll get through that. And then another Miller thing I got, which I'll flip through, is a Miller and Raphael, Grandpa, the Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child, which I've heard's kind of shaky in terms of story-wise. Miller writes it, and I thought Miller drew it for a second. I'm sure Miller beat the crap out of Raphael to almost do Miller style, That makes some Sin Cities. But no, it's really good. Or I don't know if it's really good. I like the art. I'll definitely. Is this issue 1 or is this just a one shot? I don't know. But I'll definitely have to look at it more so now. I liked it a lot, and like I said, I try to pick up anything Miller. Oh, Dark Side. So we'll definitely keep having to look at stuff like this. But no, let's get to more stuff. We've talked about a couple of these on the channel, but it is these Wednesday Comics newspaper-esque format comic books where it's one-page stories there, and then it's over 12 issues, so you get a 12-page story if you have them all. I think I only need 3 more now after this one. Well, let's look at some of the artwork. This video is kind of running short, so let's deep dive a little bit. Let me try to get this to at least 20 minutes. I don't want to cheat you guys. We've been doing like 40-minute videos all the time. So it feels weird that this one's only like 15 minutes right now. But no, it is like a newspaper-esque, or not, not even esque. It's a newspaper, and it's, let me move up I have that baseball there to act as registration, so I can always line up the book. But it is a full newspaper, and it's these one-page stories, like I said, with some really good art in them. Like, we'll talk about the ones I look at a lot. Is no, not yet. I do like this Green Lantern story, though, and who's it by? Kurt? I don't know those people, but no. Oh no, is that? Oh no, my camera is falling. Sorry about that. But no, well, we got some all red artwork right here. Let me move my microphone and see if that helps. I can move it up. We got some all red artwork right there. Just some great all red. This is his Metamorpho story, and I can't think of a better character for all red to draw if he was doing DC stuff than Metamorpho. It's great. What I mean, I think if I had to describe all red in one book, it would be, or in one word, it would be fantastical. Because he does these fantastic stuff. Like, look at this panel, right? Look at that, composition, the color usage, I'm sure, his wife colored it, but, I'm sure him and his wife, have discussions on what to do. I'd love to see their working process. Or these little white dots here, to make just a textured look. It looks really good. All these different uses of colors and all these, different expressions. He's such a good expressionist. Like, him and Jeff Smith are so good at that. And that's why I say study both of them, It's just, I can't argue enough how much people should study Metamorpho, or not Metamorpho, should study All Red. So yeah, study Metamorpho for All Red, but it's just superb, it's great. You can, his characters look alive. They look, like they're grounded in, they're zany, they're wild, but they still have that real life appearance. They're not, it's a mix between a cartoonist and a non-cartoonist is what All Red kind of brings to the table. He's just hitting on all cylinders always. I have never read a bad All Red book. Knock on wood. But no. I guess one of my few complaints is a lot of his characters look alike. Like, this is almost looks like the main villain from the first volume of Madman, which, if you draw great characters, why don't reuse them sometimes? That was a Tundra book, so probably not a whole lot of people read that one. R.I.P. Tundra. But no, I, love his artwork. The next one is Paul Pope, who is an artist that I love immensely too. I want to get more of his artwork. This series is maybe the only Paul Pope artwork I own. I don't know if I own any other Paul Pope artwork. Oh no, I do. I own one random story he did in some Western book that we looked at. But no, it's still my second only ever Paul Pope art. And his artwork's insane too. Very technical, very just outlandish. I don't think you'll ever see any artwork like it again. He studied in Japan for a long time, worked in Japan for a long time, and I think it shows. His artwork's like a perfect marriage between American comics and manga at times. And he's another artist that everyone should look at. If you want a very short read but amazing read, read his Escapo book. It's 2 issues, but it's amazing. The artwork's incredible, and it's a very compelling story too, which I need to own. It's like a $70 trade paperback, so I haven't been able to get it yet on an art student salary, but I want to one day. That's probably in my top 10 most wanted books right now. Is that Escapo slash his DC Solo, because I really like that cover of his on it. So, I really like his artwork. The coloring's really dope. He doesn't color his stuff, but or I don't think he does. Don't quote me on that. But it looks really good. And another thing to do is you can also study this format if you're trying to do 1 page stories. If you're in a zine and you only have space for like a page or half a page, 2 pages, study books that only let there be a page at a time and figure out how to do a good story. Look at Miracle Man from Marvel slash Alan Moore. I don't want to get into that debacle. Look at, just stuff like this. See how the artist is able to do a story with limited space, because it's hard to do. It's hard to make a perfect story, or a story that keeps the viewer coming each time, right? Like, you can't make it super straightforward, or else it's going to be predictable. But you can't make it, you can't make every part a cliffhanger, or else I feel like that's even going to get boring. You have to have a perfect mix, and that's hard to do. I don't really have an answer for that other than study, study, study. Like I've said, it takes 1,000 hours of studying to get better. So here's part of your 1,000 hours right here. And that's Paul Pope's story. There's not a whole lot more in this scene that I'm like, oh, there is this really interesting. Is it the Sergeant Rock with the 2 Kuberts I like a whole lot. And then this... Oh, I forgot about the Etrigan Catwoman story. That's dope. But this Hawkman story by Kyle Baker. I don't know nothing about Kyle Baker, but he's interesting me. He's got the Will Eisner font, and his artwork's just interesting. So if you know much about Kyle Baker, let me know in the comments. Is he some underrated artist that, should have took the world by storm? Or what's his deal? So, let me know. Because I'm really digging this Hawkman book, and now I have to keep an eye out for some more Kyle Baker stuff. But no, that is this Wednesday Comics. I think I'm missing maybe 3 more issues of it, and then I can start doing a whole review on it, because I don't like reviewing stuff until I have a good chunk of it. And since this is only 12 issues, I want to get all 12 before we start looking at it. And maybe those will be some Sunday pop-up videos where we just look at a page at a time, and they're like 10 or 15-minute videos. Because I would hate to, or, do 2 or 3 at a time, knock that series out in a couple weeks. And then our last 2 pulls, which I thought were really insane to find, and I have 2/3 of this entire series now after a week. I should have pulled out the other 2 I bought, but I forgot to do that. 2 issues of 1963, including book 1 and book 3. And 1963, you might not know what that book is. It wasn't made in 1963. It was made in the 90s, early 2000s. I think 90s, though. And it is a combination of Alan Moore, Bissett, and Dave Gibbons, I believe, working together. They're all one-shot books. Each story is self-contained, and it was supposed to show that golden age of comics, in their opinion. 1963. Was I right? Al Moore, Rick Veitch, Dave Gibbons. I guess Bissett wasn't in all of them. I thought he was. Huh. Or maybe he got called on. Let's see if he's in book 3. And they all have these awesome fake ads in them too, like monster-sized commies, with Stalin, or what's on the back of the first one. Random Shane by You English. So it's a fun comic, and this will probably be a book one will probably be a video next week or something that we look at. This is book three. Let's see. Almorovich. Basset's not in book three either. He has to be in some of them, right? Because I believe 1963 was the death knell for Bassett and Alan Moore's relationship, working relationship. Is that Moore out of nowhere just went crazy on Bassett and was like, "You never talk to me again. We're through," and then hung up. And Bassett never really understood what he did wrong. But no, they're self-contained stories. It's some 1963-esque stories. So if you like that era of comics, check out these. But it does have that whimsical art style of Veitch and Bassett in it. So it's off the walls crazy sometimes. So not totally 1963, but still a good chunk of it. So, it'll be real fun to read through these and see what's going on. And like I said, if you want to do one-shot stories, study books like this. Figure out how they do it, what makes it work, what might not make it work, because some artists don't get it right for a first couple of issues. So just see what works, what doesn't, and you'll learn something from it. So you turn your armpits into explosive defensive mechanisms. I want to see who came up with all these ads because they're hilarious and out of the box. But no, like you're not seeing that in 1963 book, but it's you could have if probably Veitch, Bassett, and Moore were working in the 60s on stuff like this. So it's interesting to see the minds of some crazy people. So these will be fun to read through, like I said. And I can't wait to. I love this little monkey guy. I need to do that as a print. That's cool. I wonder if that's almost like a Toddle Bin background. It looks like Toddle Bin in a way. So if you like 1963, if this is like your favorite comic of all time, comment down below. I didn't know where to look for it until like this week, because whenever I tried to find it, I looked for 1963, not 1963 with a non 1963 cover. So now I know what to look for, and now I can look up the covers and probably find them a little bit more. I have 4 issues of it now, and all 4 I found in the dollar bin. So hopefully I can find 2 more $1 1963s and have the full run of it, and then we can do a video on it. But yeah, those are my pickups for this week. It's been fun doing a pickup video. I don't think we've done one in a week and a half. We've just been doing those under the microscope, which have been fun, but exhausting at times. I've gained a lot more respect for the kayfabes. Jim and Ed doing that day in, day out, because, after 2 weeks, I'm just like, man, I might need a little, like, 1-day break, even though I take the weekend off. So, but they didn't. So kudos for them for, going in and day out. I've learned a lot, but I'm also a little tired. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. I promise you I won't stop. This isn't my last video ever like some YouTubers might do. I've learned a lot. It's been fun. We're 9 subscribers away from our summer goal of reaching 40. So that's awesome that we're, past the final 10. We're in the final 9. And maybe this video will get 1, and then we'll be at 8. But if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you. If you found something you liked, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us out. Like I said, we're trying to push the 40 subscribers by the end of the summer, and we're in week 3. So with 31 already, I think we're going to get there. But I'd like to thank all the subscribers who have been here from the beginning. I'd like to thank, everyone who's just watched this video. It means a lot to me. This week we have some pretty interesting stuff. We got a turtle story. We have I guess this is Wednesday's video because I filmed these in advance. So we have a turtle book and then our Miller Friday, which, not gonna lie, Ronin 3, kind of the weakest one I've read so far, and I'm worried it's gonna keep going like that, but hopefully not. But, if there's something if you have something you want to say, comment. Not in a bad way. I don't mean to be threatening about that. But I love responding to the comments. We've had some amazing comments so far. All of them have been amazing. I just have fun interacting with this community. If there's a book you want me to look at, I'm about to be at 1,500 books. So odds are I have a book that you have, or one of my co-hosts has a book that you want me to talk about. So just let me know what I can talk about. So I guess I'll send you on some marching orders, and I'm out of here. Make more art.